If you look back, and that's the topic of tonight, 65 years of the People's Republic, what are the major achievements? What really changed for the better, and also what has not been achieved yet?
First, after 65 years, China remains a non-democratic system. And second, China still remains a developing country, not just because China is a poor country, but because the distribution in China is not even. We have a huge gap. And the last but not the least, China as a nation, as a people, have not really achieved the kind of respect they want to have. The good sense is that Chinese people's life have improved a lot. Just in the past 20 years since reform started, we know that over 240 million people of China has been lifted out of poverty. And second, Chinese people can travel all over the world, and the big money spenders, and that money comes from them. Last but not the least is that in 1949, and China is really a sick man in Asia, and now China is number 2, very soon become number 1.
Now we have a president. Do you agree with this assessment? This guy, Xi Jinping, has much more power than anyone before.
I would argue he appears to be much more powerful. But on the other hand, Beijing has established a lot of leading groups. But that also tells you maybe he does not have the power he wants. That's why he had to set up so many new offices. But given what he has done so far, I think he will be a very powerful leader. Because 3 leaders, Mao Zedong, Deng Xiaoping, Xi Jinping, they all have something in common, even though quite different leaders. That is, they dare to seek support from outside the political system.
What are the major changes you expect from Xi Jinping?
Number 1, he wants to restructure Chinese economy, because after 30 years development, because of the political system in China, we have a lot of privileged interest group in China. They have monopolized the market resources. Because of that, politically, he has launched a massive anti-corruption campaign. It's not just a political campaign, it is also an economic movement to make sure China will move forward. I think it's much easier to concentrate power, to centralize in your own hand, but much more difficult to let power go. So far, looks very positive because Xi Jinping already emphasized the rule of law. He already emphasized the power should be caged.
Xi Jinping very often talks about the Chinese dream.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
So when Xi Jinping says Chinese dream, I think from his point of view, he has 3 elements in it. Number 1, never ever let 1840 happen to China again. That is Opium War. Second, let's go to second. China will be strong, will be united, rejuvenated, revival of great nation. And number 3, of course, he believes that only given that condition can each of every Chinese truly be a Chinese. Chinese dream is not a problem. The problem is that now China are open enough, developed enough, and Chinese people dare to, and they deserve, have their own explanation of this Chinese dream. And their explanation of Chinese dream and the expectation of Chinese dream may not always match what Xi Jinping means. That's a problem.
Where do you draw the line between patriotism and nationalism? I ask this because I see a rise of nationalism all over Asia. And this nationalism seems to be at the root of many of these territorial conflicts we see in the East China Sea, in the South China Sea. Are you worried about a rising nationalism in China?
Of course, I agree with you absolutely. What the danger is that because it's a non-democratic democratic government, whenever is a big internal problem, either economic development slow down or have economic difficulties, we'll have some political leaders want to take a ride of nationalism for their own political gains. That, I think, will be the dangerous moment.